Actually, Matt, do you want to do the intro? Just because it would be kind of random and funny.
Sure. What do you want me to say?
Just whatever you want, dude. Like you can literally just like lay into us if you want.
God, y'all are so bored. Jesus Christ. All right, here, y'all just fucking stop laughing at everything. Just fucking, all right. Could y'all hear that?
No,
A little bit.
a little bit.
No?
I
That
mean
was
a
the
little.
sound
I
of
heard
this
something.
episode beginning.
No.
Welcome back. This is the terrible intro.
That's fine. It's better than pretty much all the ones that I do.
No. Y'all shit just sucks so bad. It's
Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
bad.
pointless. We're all gonna die anyway. What's the point of even being here? It's Swish and Perry and Daftvino. Fuck my life.
We cling to our humble meat prisons as we
Ugh.
search our way through this horrible adventure we call life. Oh,
Are y'all
boy.
not suicidal? I mean,
I'm not really.
okay. God, Jesus.
I don't know.
Y'all are just drinking the fucking Kool-Aid.
Apparently.
I can do another intro where I pretend to be happy about all this bullshit.
Wake up, sheeple.
No, we're already going.
I'm on beer 9, so I've started to take a turn.
Yeah, it happens.
Y'all should have caught me on 6. I was real proud.
What are you drinking?
Oh, fucking Jimmy Buffett's beer, bro.
Really? I didn't know he had a beer.
Fucking Land Shark. I actually don't know if it's his beer or not.
Gotcha.
It says Margaritaville. I'm fucking googling it.
It probably is. It wouldn't
I'm
surprise
actually
me.
going to grab one right now.
I was gonna say I didn't realize that Land Shark was a Margaritaville thing. I've only ever had it
I'm
one
pretty
time
Sure it is.
because Joe left a whole bunch of, or he left. I think was it like 5 out of 6 beers of a 6-pack in my fridge. I think.
Was it? Did I only drink
Oh.
one? Oh, I think I drank
pretty
one
sure.
and passed out.
Yeah, because it was after we had traveled so much that one day, so you were like super tired.
This is fucking hilarious.
I don't want to marry my cousin Matilda.
What's
I wanna
that?
marry
I don't want
Penelope.
to incest. What the fuck?
Oh,
They'll kill me.
I
What?
want to marry my cousin Penelope.
Hold up. Are we sticking with that as the intro?
I
That was
guess.
Why not?
fuck my life.
We are
Sorry.
the kings of mediocre content after all.
Sorry, viewers.
Or
But shit's not okay. All right, like
Our 2 viewers.
fucking deal with it. You guys, like plural, but only because there's 2 of you.
I mean, honestly,
and one
the
of
whole
them
year.
is me, to be completely honest. I
Yeah,
don't- Who's the other guy, by the way? Send me a DM.
yeah.
There's some dude in the basement
Daftvino.
furiously jacking off like, they're talking to me. Yes.
I could see Ronan doing that.
How do you know this person by name? That's not creepy.
He's gonna be so
Anyway.
mad when he hears this.
Fuck my life.
be
I
like,
have to
"The fuck?"
disconnect.
If we don't get there in time,
No, fucking Land Shark is apparently, and I didn't realize this, apparently it's just Jimmy Buffett's beer sponsor.
as the cause is,
It's actually Anheuser-Busch.
Gotcha. Oh, okay.
Oh, really?
owner. Yeah, I didn't realize
It's
that.
good.
Well,
It's a
apparently,
very good light beer.
I think I remember this. Apparently, Corona used to be Jimmy Buffett's beer sponsor.
Interesting.
And
he
then
changed
Land
to
Shark.
Shark.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure my grandfather actually has like Jimmy Buffett Coronas, like the old ones.
Oh,
Really?
wow.
Unopened. Yeah, I'm pretty. Now that I'm reading this, I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I've seen those. But then it's funny because I just Googled Land Shark Jimmy Buffett, and then down here Google's like, people also ask, Number one, is Landshark better than Corona? Fuck yes, it is.
I'll tell you what. Your friend
That's
here
funny.
can do everything for us. It'll allow us to
So
Shit's delicious.
the old bottles that you were saying that he has, do you how much past their expiration date do you think those are?
Bro, they're probably like, don't they just get better with time? Isn't that how beer works?
I mean, isn't that how
Pretty sure
alcohol
it
works?
definitely
If
won't
it's
kill you.
if it's still in the barrel, maybe, but I think once it's been bottled, I don't think it keeps as well. I might be wrong, but I always thought that was the thing with like brewing is like once it's actually been like taken out of like the vacuum of the barrel or whatever, it like then that's when it starts to turn.
Bro,
My buddy
with all
John
the things that are
brews up
going
here.
on right now, you're gonna make me think that I couldn't go back and drink that like 30-year-old Jimmy Buffett beer.
I mean,
You're just
you
gonna
can
take that.
you can do anything once.
Yeah, that's if you want to do it twice. You can skydive without a parachute once.
Once.
His fucking, his ass fucking called me the other day specifically just to be like, did you see that shit?
You can skydive without a parachute one time. You need a parachute to skydive twice, or something like that.
Yeah.
He thought it was just the best. I'm actually Googling Jimmy Buffett Corona beer, and I can't find one. Like, there's
Like
old
an official bottle that
advertisements.
says like Margaritaville sponsor or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I've never really paid too much attention to that stuff. I usually just I'm like, it's beer, I'm just gonna drink it. But
Dude, that used to be like a big thing. Like my stepdad's got like a fuck ton of like World Series. What is it? The Bud Light.
yeah,
You remember that they made the
like
baseball
limited
bat.
edition beer, basically.
Yeah, they made that little.
I mean, like the
baseball
brew
bat
is
bottle.
probably still the same, but it's the actual bottle that's unique or whatever.
Yeah, but it's only special if you don't actually enjoy the beer, which doesn't make any sense.
Right. Well, isn't that like collector's items in general though? Like, so like, for instance, like Star Wars toys are worth like 20 times as much if they're still in the box or whatever. Like if they haven't actually been opened and played with, which is what they're made for. But like because it's a collectible, as long as the box isn't open, it's worth a lot more.
Yeah, that's fucking. I don't know. That motherfucker still got like one of the old tins with the camel bucks in it.
Camelback,
Oh wow!
like,
Yeah, my real smokers, they'll know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yeah,
wow.
Like, I remember being a kid, and
bro,
like,
we're missing a lot of jokes here for women's rights and feminism.
yeah, it's probably for the best.
Yeah.
This is a tough time for this right now.
Yeah.
I don't need to start any more controversy.
Probably, yeah. There's enough controversy about all this stuff. So
It's like at the time period of this right here, though. It's funny though because it's like, yeah, you're right at the beginning of all this, but at the time, are you really worth more? That's what one of those signs said. Like, we are worth more. Well, you could be. Probably not though. Not right now.
Not yet. You're not.
You're still in a period of time where most of you just need to pop out more kids so that they can take care of your farm.
Yeah.
it's
Like-
fucking wild to think like the life expectancy back then was like, what was it, like 50 years old, something like that?
Actually, I think I read something recently that's actually like a confused statistic.
Oh, is that a misnomer? Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, apparently like one of the main reasons that it's actually so low is because you had so many child deaths, so it skews those numbers.
Oh, so it was the average. That's just the average age. So, but the high infant mortality rate. fucks it
Yeah,
up.
so it's if you take like if as long as a child lives to be past 5, I think the median age was something like 65.
Oh, okay.
So it's not really that much different.
Yeah, because the median age now is like 85.
I think
80?
it's like 70 something. I
Is
think
it
it's
really that
actually
low?
73 or
Interesting.
something. What's okay? Well, I mean, we got the power of Google.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's the beautiful that's the beautiful thing about the internet. It's always right there at your fingertips.
Let's
Yeah,
see.
what is so median age in America? I guess because we're filthy.
Yeah. Oh, 78.93 years.
Wow.
Oh,
Okay, so
wow.
it's just under 80. That's crazy to think that it's only gone up 15 in the last fucking
see,
200 years. No, it's
This
not
is
that
the
bad.
thing that's fucked about it though, is because is that statistic not including is that including infant mortality?
Oh,
Because at
this
this
is
point,
including.
yeah, because at this point that wouldn't be a really high number.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, at this point, you can do fucked up shit to your kid and like lose parental rights as soon as the child's born, like 6 months early. It's
Yeah.
like barely got a skull to encase its brain, but we can make that baby live. Like,
Fucking crazy to think about how like the medical field has changed.
yeah, I mean,
Like
it's kind
especially
of.
in that regard, like that you can literally grow a fucking child from on a petri dish, you know?
I mean, that's what my mom does, man. I'm probably so fucked up because of the stories that they've told me. She works in the NICU, and then
Oh yeah.
my stepdad was a respiratory therapist for like an experimental department in
Oh,
children's
so they get to
medical.
see all the like the really like premature that they have to put in like the box and everything.
Yeah, like that's what she does. It's specifically basically like nothing but crack babies. It's awful, but I mean, I guess that's the only thing she would really tell you about because it's like those are the real fucked up ones. But it's like,
That's like the worst. This is the thing that
I
sticks out the
mean,
most. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, so that's the story she would tell me. But then the alternative is just like the funny stuff. Like, you will not believe that I had like a parent, she gave premature, like, and it's not uncommon for like twins and shit like that. You'd have premature
Oh, that
babies
one of them
because of
comes
the
out.
space.
Yeah. Or both. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, like it's not uncommon for, twins or, anything like that. If you have multiple babies at the same time, you might have them a little early. But so then they end up being preemies. But then she would tell me stuff like people universally seem to name, if they have twins or triplets or anything like that, they seem to really have a bad, like, they're not good at naming them.
Oh
The, one-
yeah.
the, one, the one that sticks out the most to me is, and it doesn't matter what race they are because it's fucked regardless. But they named the twins Ebony and Ivory.
Yeah.
Like, this
Oh.
is on their birth certificates. And I'm like, hopefully they were black and one was more light skinned. But then
Yeah.
that's also kind of fucked.
I was gonna say because I guess if it's like a mixed family and you got one that was like a little bit darker, then like yeah, cool. But like
That's still fucked. And
Yeah.
what if
it's
you
still kind of
reverse
fucked. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Had it backwards.
it? So
Yeah.
they grow up and they're looking at each other like, are y'all retarded? Like,
I think the dumbest name, and I'm not 100% sure that the story is true, like because I just heard it from my grandma, so it's like I'd like to believe it's true, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was just something funny that they made up because my family has a tendency to do that. It's like if something sounds funny, we'll just come up with a big story about it. But my grandma told me a story about a pair of twins that she knew, and their names were Lamangelo and Orangelo. So when you spelled their name out on, oh, okay,
They're gonna try to rob me.
gotcha.
Look, there's more of them
So
right
when you
there.
spelled their name out on the birth certificate, it was literally just lemon jello and orange jello, is how it was spelled. But you pronounced it Lamangelo and Orangelo.
oh my God.
Yeah. Again, I don't know if that story is actually true, but it's really fucking funny.
And then I listened to a Freakonomics podcast about this.
Mhm.
You know that, like, statistically, the thing about that is that in that situation, statistically, based on their findings, those are probably some of the best people ever. And then beyond that, they only really have two like real like paths in life. They're either going to be like exceptional and excel in everything
Mhm.
because they're just so great, or just be absolutely awful as human beings. Like, just never achieve anything. Like, those are the only two paths. Whereas,
Makes
like,
sense.
you
They're
can meet
either
a,
like super overachievers or absolute deadbeats.
yeah,
Like
so
no in
it's like,
between.
yeah, because it's like the names don't. And what is it? They did one where like kids had been named something, like twins had been named something real messed up. So like one was like, I don't even remember. It was like the equivalent of like winning or something, or like this one's named successful and this one's named loser, or some
Oh,
shit like
God.
Oh
that.
wow.
Somebody has listened to this podcast that's listening to us talk about this, and they're like, no, you fucking idiot. Like, I can't
You
remember
dumb
what it was.
motherfucker.
This is like years ago that this was on their podcast, but it was like it
Yeah.
was something like that where one had like a name that was somehow meant like successful and the other one meant like, you know, failure, and then it was actually the inverse. So like the
Interesting. So
successful
the one who was named loser was like super successful, basically.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Have you ever seen the studies where like if like twins are separated at birth and they grow up in like absolute like just like the environment that they grow up in couldn't be more different, but then they still somehow end up being like exactly the same, like personality wise, with like a lot of their traits and quirks and stuff? Have you ever seen those studies?
Oh yeah, and then they get like boners at the same time and stuff.
What?
That's weird.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
No, I remember one of the girls that I work with, we were talking about that because like obviously like it's like that whole study is like super fucked up, the fact that they would like take those kids away from each other, you know, like the siblings away from each other like that. But they literally did it just to study and like see what would happen, and that was like one of the things that they found was like in a lot of cases, even if the environment that they grew up in was completely different, the twins would end up having very similar like aptitudes and attitudes and just like weird personality quirks and stuff, even though they had no interaction with each other their entire life. It's just fucking weird.
Well, I mean, genetically, they should be starting from a pretty
Yeah, they're
similar
gonna start from like
starting point.
basically the same foundation, right? But it's funny because I feel like, you know, a lot of times we put a lot of emphasis about like and that can get into a whole conversation that'll probably just make me sound stupid because again, I don't really know what I'm talking about. I just make videos on YouTube.
We're fucking dummies here, okay?
Yeah.
So chill the fuck out.
But it's just wild to think that like, you know, you can have it's like, you know, we put a lot of emphasis, I feel like, on like the situation that somebody grows up in and how much impact that actually has on how they turn out, and then you have something like that which basically says it doesn't fucking matter what the environment that you grow up in is. It's like, you know, as long as you actually let yourself, you're just going to be the person that you are, you know, which I think is really interesting.
I think that's probably true to an extent, but I think you have like a genetic blueprint as like the base, right? So you would have certain things that, yeah, they would be kind of like a base direction that you would generally go in. But yeah, I don't think that makes a lot of sense. Like, I'd like to see a study where they take twins separated at birth where one has an extremely easy life, and then the opposite on the other side, like the other
where the
one.
other one has to like fight for everything.
Yeah, like the
I'm
other
sure
one.
that was done.
Bro, that's how you get an evil twin.
Yeah,
Well, no, but
exactly.
like give the other one to like a pack of like roving gypsy. I don't think you're actually allowed to say that anymore.
Is that a politically correct term?
Beep that shit out. I don't think you're allowed to say that. They'll get mad and they'll actually come and burn your house down. We don't have these. Fuck your house. Anyway,
That's why we call it Gypsy danger. Whoa, sorry.
what?
There was only a couple of
So crazy. I couldn't even hear what you said. Anyway,
So weird
but
how it speak out like that. Joe's like, "Fuck you! I'm gonna have to go back and edit that now."
yeah, and also Joe is descended from gypsies.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So
Probably not far.
I mean, just look at his facial hair. It's so stringy. Like, okay.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
wow.
Wow, 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 wow.
Wow.
Fucking stupid. Anyway, no, I'd agree with you to some extent. Like, I think it's not exact like predestination, but yeah.
Yeah, I think like kind of like what you were saying is that almost like, you know, you do kind of have to some extent like a genetic blueprint more or less that you start with, and then there's like, I feel like there's certain things that are, god damn it, cat, my cat is knocking literally everything off my computer desk right now. I'm sorry. Oh, and there goes something
Fuck
else.
this. Fuck
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
Fuck this other
Just being an
thing.
absolute cat right now.
Fuck all this shit right here.
Fuck everything. But yeah, I feel like there's like certain things that I feel like can happen in a person's life that can like radically change how they view the world or how they just interact with people in general or whatever. But I would definitely agree that there's like, I feel like at our core there is like a semblance of like, you know, like your quote true identity or whatever the hell you want to call it. That like no matter what the circumstances, you're always going to try kind of like, you're always just naturally kind of gravitate back towards that side of your personality, you know.
Well, that and also like, what if you have a twins separated at birth, and maybe they have the exact same life, except one of them has an extremely traumatic experience,
Oh, sure, like a death or some kind of tragedy or something.
Or an
or
uncle that
like
touches them.
their adoptive mother's like murdered by like a group of like rapists right in front of her.
It seems like a very
Jesus
specific.
Christ.
It seems like a very specific situation.
I'm trying to like think of something. I feel like I saw that in a movie.
Probably,
But
yeah.
fucking, it was just like, because there's certain things like, to activate certain genes, or I don't know if activate's the right word, but like you would have dormant genes and stuff like that that can be activated, but they require stress.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've
So-
heard stuff about that's another thing that's so wild, dude. With like just human anatomy in general is like, what the fuck even are emotions? You know, like how do you? Because if you think of
I
like,
actually, it's super weird. I was listening to this podcast. They were talking about stress and how stress actually, they found, does the opposite. Like, everybody thinks stress is like really bad for you, and it is in long durations, but it actually
Yeah.
keeps you healthy.
yeah, well, and I feel like a lot of times, and maybe this is me just justifying being a procrastinator, but like I used to procrastinate projects and stuff all the time in college because I always felt like I did better work if there was pressure on me that it's like it needs to be done in like at this time, you know, that it was like I could do something way in advance and be done with it, you know, a week before it was due, but I would always feel like I did better if I waited until closer to when the assignment was due, so that I kind of had like that crunch, that I put that stress on myself to be like, okay, you need to do this now and you need to do it well. And it was like I operated better under the stress than if I like never let myself get, you know, concerned about anything.
See, that's probably just because of like brain states. Like, you got into that like alpha mode where you're like more focused,
Yeah.
and as that's something. See, it's like the fucked up thing about school. Like, they should be teaching you not what to think, but how to think.
Right.
And there's things
yeah.
like that you don't. And most, like, you have 50-year-olds that they've lived their whole life. They've had to go to school. They've had to do all this bullshit like college.
But they
and
don't actually learn how
you
to
know,
learn. Yeah.
basically subsidize the fucking U.S. economy by, because, you basically are buying up debt because the government will fucking, they will pay it, so schools charge more, and they will pay that, so then schools charge more, even more than that, and you're basically gonna get the loan because the government just pays that shit because it's now their loan, because now they're in charge of that 100%. So these schools, they just charge out the fucking ass, and you're gonna be in debt for the rest of your life to get a job that'll hopefully pay off that debt, but it doesn't
By
pay
the
as
time you're
much
dead.
more because
Yeah.
now, basically, because they subsidize those loans, you basically, now they've made these fucking college degrees completely useless because everybody fucking has them, but you have to have them because everybody
Right.
has them.
Yeah.
So you go and you learn all this shit, and then you find out like a year or two after you graduate that like something was completely fucked up in U.S. history, and that they're still going to keep teaching it. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
So you're learning shit that doesn't even make any sense, but that's what we've agreed on for at least right now. You need to know for whatever arbitrary reason. And it doesn't teach you how to think about shit. It just teaches you how to play memory games.
Yeah, well, and that's what I was saying is like, you know, you go to school to learn how to memorize things, but you don't go to learn how to learn, you know?
Yeah, like that alpha state where you would be in a highly focused state, and you have to, that's why the procrastination works, because you don't want to learn that shit, or else
Right.
you would be in that alpha state already, because you know how to do that, but
Yeah.
people don't know how to force themselves to do that unless they have to or they want to.
Yeah.
And you don't learn that. No one's going to teach you that. It's like, for instance, weird shit like you go to get into a physical confrontation. Your eyes move closer together.
Right.
That's a non-voluntary thing, but that is associated with that like heightened state of focus that you
Right.
get.
Your
when
vision
you're-
is like, it's like hyper focused on what it knows it needs to be paying attention to. Like your brain
Yeah.
just like naturally goes into that state.
Oh, look at them titties.
Yeah.
That's
But her face.
there's this is like completely unrelated, but it's really interesting how like the human body and I guess even like we were talking about there, the brain will just naturally do these like very specific things when you get put into certain situations.
Yeah.
I know there's like one of the ones that I think is like really, really fascinating is free diving. Like people who do free diving where they literally just jump down with no gear or anything. They dive down like as deep as they can in the ocean. They just take a big breath and then hop down underwater. And some of these people can stay down there for like 10, 15 minutes at a time. And they're hundreds of feet underwater, because like your body, like when you start getting that deep, like your body will just naturally go into this rhythm where like your metabolism slows down, your pulse slows down, like, you know, the oxygen that your body needs, like it knows how to naturally like reduce how much oxygen you actually need to continue to function. So like your body will just like naturally go into this state where you're like almost sleeping, but you're still awake and conscious of everything that you're doing. So then these people can go down there and they don't need, you know, that's why they can stay down there for so long without having to breathe, is because their body just knows like, oh, okay, I'm just going to do this now. And like, you do obviously have to practice and train, but like your body will naturally start that process by itself, which is just fucking wild to me to think about.
Well, first of all, you're talking about free divers, and so there's obviously like extreme outliers, and also those people are fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So,
I would love to do that shit, dude.
No, but it's interesting you say this, because I feel like I just heard, I was listening to something about this not too long ago, and I realized, like, because I've played these games and I've played them recently, like with like younger people, like not kids, but you know, like you used to do it when you went to the pool and shit like that.
Mhm.
It's like, how long can you hold your breath?
Oh,
I can hold my breath. Yeah, like I can hold my breath pretty long. I wouldn't say that I'm like freediver level, but it's like
No, some people
surprising.
can get under there and be like, you know, 3 to 5, like somewhere between 3 to 5 minutes. I feel like is like normal, you know, if you do it a lot, you know, in practice.
Well, I mean, if you're like low heart rate and all that, or low heartbeat, you don't start freaking out about it. Like you're okay,
Yeah.
maybe just slightly suicidal, like you know. So it's like as long as
Maybe
you
stay down there
remain
about 45
calm.
seconds longer than you probably should have.
Yeah, like you're a little dizzy when you come up, that type of shit. Like you're just not a loser. You know, you're not a quitter.
Just
Like,
like a
I'm
single drop of blood that comes from your ears, you know.
Right, I'm gonna win or pass out and then die. But no, so it's interesting because they were talking about how you should really do most of your breathing through your nose, and how that changes the way that you like uptake carbon dioxide and stuff like that, and that most
When I
people
think
just don't.
It forces you to use your diaphragm more if you breathe in through your nose than if you're breathing in through your mouth.
Well,
I think like your body naturally tries to use your diaphragm a little bit more if you're breathing in through your nose.
You fucking just killed yourself?
He lit the fuse and didn't run away. Hasn't
you even
anybody
have
ever
to
told
do
you?
It
Hasn't
seemed like it
anybody
was
ever
taken
told
for a while, so I was like, maybe I got time.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, so I'm pretty sure every single episode of Red Dead that we've ever played on this channel, he has either killed somebody or himself to fail the mission every single episode that we've played. At least once.
That's probably
Bro,
true.
and I mean, it's kind of fucked because, like, we've said literally most of the stuff thus far in the show. I mean,
Yeah.
this is the show, ladies and gentlemen. And it's not, you
This
had one
episode-
job, bro. Just don't fucking die. Like,
This episode should be called Daft and Perry.
Daft Perry. Together at last.
Finally, we should just start a new channel, like as a meme.
Yeah.
This is the only video we ever upload to it. It's just you and I talking, and every once in a while Joe just laughs in the background.
It's just a clip from one of these videos with a link to the channel.
Yeah.
Like y'all's channel, where it's like, and it just says more videos coming soon, but they never do.
They never come.
Literally never come.
Oh man, it's like 90% of a lot of channels on YouTube, man. People just like they take a name that they think sounds cool, and they're like, "Oh, videos coming soon," and then they never do anything with it.
Bro, it's like my channel lately. Like I ain't done shit.
Oh
I
yeah.
haven't done shit with mine either.
So,
I
bro,
feel
I've
like-
been so
like if-
fucking behind.
If you're like,
on
if you're not
everything.
motivated to do anything, then like, what's the point, you know? Because like, if you're not motivated to do something, usually, and you force yourself to do it, you're like, if you do it begrudgingly, it's usually not going to be like your best work, you know?
Well, it's just like I don't know. We play stuff, and then like there's been a few times where I've been like focused and I have the time, and then like I'll get with him and I'll try and like do something or whatever. It's like it's more of a skill thing, so I need to be in the right mindset. So it's like, okay, this time I kind of am, Let's see what happens. Oh, there's a glitch, or we're only getting paired up against people who are way better than us.
Yeah, like super try hard. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, oh, it's not gonna happen tonight, bud.
That happens
fucking-
quite a bit.
Bro, it's just, I don't know, man. There's been so many glitches in Call of Duty lately. It's just fucking. I
Is
don't
it like
know.
new patches like that's fucking shit up or just?
Yeah, they added a bunch of stuff into the game, and like,
I don't know.
I don't know. There's been some real crazy ones. They're fucking. Oh my god, you're gonna fucking kill yourself.
I don't
again.
think you need to light all of them because they're gonna blow themselves up, right? Like they're all next to each other.
Gotta find out.
You're gonna literally blow the
Probably
backside of
just
the
go,
bank off,
'cause that first one's about to explode already.
and then we're gonna do all. The, oh my god, get out!
Yeah.
Jesus Christ!
Told
I
you.
just felt my sphincter pucker.
Oh yeah, it did blow them all open.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Oh my god.
It's video game logic.
Video game logic.
In most
Love
cases,
it.
that's probably actually real life logic too. I feel like if there's sticks of dynamite that close to each other, they'd blow each other up still.
Yeah, no,
Can I
it's-
take the money,
it's-
please?
It's definitely video game logic because that whole room shouldn't even be there anymore.
That's
yeah.
true. Yeah.
And the money should not
Dynamite.
just be sitting there all nice and neat. Like,
perfectly stacked and ready for you to take it.
here.
No, that dynamite back then was not like. It's not
This
like.
was not 2020 dynamite, bro. This was
Yeah.
like 19. This is like 1890. What year is this supposed to be happening? It's like
18,
Like 18,
late 1800s.
80? 1880? 1880? Gosh, I can't fucking
Something like that.
1880. Like
Yeah.
this is like your second language or some shit.
Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck was that? I don't know why that was so
Oh.
hard for me to say. Too many eights, I guess.
I looked it up though, and I'm totally wrong. According to this, I guess it is so low because infant mortality was so high, but I was way off.
Oh, really?
Fucking, if it's 1880, then the actual average life expectancy was 39.41 years old.
Let's see, what year was red?
Maybe it's I heard it somewhere, and it's like I'm pretty sure they were talking about 1920, but I'm pretty
yeah.
sure maybe they were saying without infant mortality it would have been like 55.
Yeah. Okay, so it was 1899 is the year that Red Dead Redemption 2 was set in.
Well, no, that
So,
can't be right.
1900.
Yeah, 1920 it says average life expectancy was 53.22. So,
That's insane that it went up that high in, what, 40
bro,
years?
what's so weird about this chart right here is it's graphing it. It's graphing it all the way from 1860 to 2020, and so far the highest average life expectancy was actually 2010 to 2015. It went down in 2015 to 2020.
Wow, really?
I wonder if it's because, like, and I might be wrong.
Quarantine suicides? Yeah, probably.
Well, yeah. I was gonna say, I wonder if that's just because people have-
Target. Fuck my
Yeah.
life. I'm just gonna kill my.
I can't go to Chipotle and wear Uggs.
Chipotle's
Nope.
closed. What?
Chipotle is my life.
Where am I gonna get food poisoning from? And
And bubble gut,
yeah, what's the other
Bubble
thing?
gut.
They were always having some sort of
like E.
problem.
coli, I think. They were
Yeah.
getting, like, there was like 2 or 3 times that I remember hearing, and they were like really close to each other too. That it was like, you know, whatever the fucking lettuce provider that they had had like tested positive.
It was
for
over
coli.
spinach. Oh, I ran too far away
Oh,
from
was it
everybody.
spinach?
Yeah, because that's what the whole reason why we had all the stuff we have with our spinach.
Oh, you guys had to deal with that too?
No, but we just had to. We have like,
Oh, you had to
Certain-
make sure.
yeah, we have to make sure we don't touch the spinach, and the spinach doesn't touch anything else, and blah, blah, blah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
We don't
Is
put it
that
in our
something like really
pans.
common with spinach?
Yeah.
Is
We
that
used
just
to.
something with like the pesticides that they use or something that just happened?
No, to answer your question, Chris, yes, that's E. coli is a common thing with spinach.
Okay.
Is it E. coli?
E. coli?
Is E.
No,
coli?
salmonella.
No. Salmonella, that's the one.
Oh, is this? Oh, salmonella. Okay.
Salmonella, not E. coli. Salmonella. I'm retarded. You said E. coli, I
Yeah.
kept thinking E. coli.
I thought
That's
it was E.
butt
coli,
stuff.
but that's like poop stuff, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's bad stuff, bro.
Gotcha. Salmonella.
Hey,
makes-
fuck all this. I just realized what this entire episode needs to be about.
What's that?
It's raining right now in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you realize that you can get struck by lightning in this game?
You actually
Can you really?
Yes.
Did that happen
Are
to
the
you?
odds of getting struck by lightning in this game the same as real life?
Yes, they are.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
It's almost impossible. So just
Yeah.
keep riding around.
Just keep riding around. We're gonna spend
Yeah,
an
bro.
entire episode just riding around until it happens.
Hell
Like-
yeah.
This is when, like, we edit in, we go find a clip of, like, somebody getting struck by lightning on Red Dead. We edit it in to make it look like it was you, but we, like, compress the file down so bad that it's, like, super shitty quality, so it's really obvious that it's not actually what you recorded.
Or just throw the clip into After Effects and just like do a shitty version of you getting struck by lightning, but nothing really happens in the game.
Or, like, get a PNG of a lightning bolt and just, like, drag it on screen over your character.
Okay, so
Record your own
about to
sound
get struck
effect
by
of being like,
lightning. Yeah, you're about to get struck by lightning right now, so everybody freak out. 3, 2, 1. Oh my god, I just got struck by lightning.
Look at that! Holy shit!
There you
What are
go.
the odds?
You're
There you
gonna
go,
have
it
to do
happened.
that
There it
editing.
was. Right, you saw it right
Enjoy
here,
that.
live on the channel. Happened.
It was
right there.
you saw it here first.
Yeah.
You may have seen it elsewhere, but we guarantee it did not look like that.
Watch
Everything
me
else is a
actually.
lie.
Watch me actually get struck by lightning now.
Right.
That would be hilarious.
There's a train. Yeah. That'd be... What the
Oh,
fuck?
I ran the
What?
I ran the other way.
Oh. The
I'm
gang was
too busy
oh,
listening to you guys and not listening to what they're telling me to do.
laughing
Oh my
too hard
God.
about getting struck by lightning or
Isn't
something.
this like the
I gotta
sixth
do this
time you've
over
played this
again. Yeah, that's it.
game? Jesus Christ.
You know, shit happens, bro.
I will say I do really like the aesthetic of this game, even though I'm not like a super huge fan of westerns or anything. But like this game just looks fucking gorgeous, no matter like what environment it is.
Yeah, and imagine if you were like into like horse, or if you were like if you were into bestiality, but specifically like horse ass. This game would be
It's just perfect.
for you, just bouncing horse ass right, just all day.
Just right there.
Because where else are you gonna get your fix? You know, like there's no. I'm sure there's bestiality videos, but there's no like bouncing horse ass bestiality videos.
Yeah.
So
No
like if
twerking
you're
horses.
down in Florida, where they recently voted to keep it legal, not pointing any fingers at anybody, you fucking freaks.
No
But just say, well, I say recently, but that was like I don't know, it was like 5 years ago. It was a while ago, but I'm like, they did what? What?
Who did what now?
It was legal to begin with, and they voted to keep it legal.
Yikers.
Wow, I didn't
Florida
even know
man
that.
has, bro. Florida man's done a number on y'all down there. I tell you what.
Florida man has like transcended all planes of reality.
What was that conversation we were having if like Florida and Alabama and Georgia actually like went to war with each other?
Hell yeah, Florida Bama Gia.
God damn it. Who would win?
Florida, Bama, Gia.
No, Florida would win.
Yeah,
Florida's
just
trying to
because-
annex Alabama and Georgia, and
Oh,
what
okay.
would ultimately happen is, like, Georgia, it would be like a Superman movie. That's what I was saying. It was like it seemed like Florida was losing for most of the movie, or
And then all of a
most of
sudden,
this.
the Floridian armies would come riding in on their alligators and just sweep over the nation of Georgia. And
No,
Alabama.
like, it'd be like Georgia and Alabama against one another and all this type of shit for a while, and Florida would really be at like a disadvantage. They'd slowly be losing. They'd be like, we can't keep fighting. We've lost too many good men. Shit like that. But then it would just, Florida would come over the top because they've got something that we don't have. Florida man. That's the wild
Yeah.
card.
That's very
No.
true. It'd just be one sole man walking through a battlefield, and everybody's just like, "The fuck!" And then he just takes out the entire army of both Georgia and Alabama.
Yeah. And then that's what everybody would use to
Hopped
explain,
up on
how
like
it-
crack and methamphetamines. Riding an alligator.
I'm all hopped up. I'm Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
literally eating people's face off.
Yeah.
Like,
I can't believe that's a real story. Like, fucking found that kid. He had like killed his mom and dad, and then he was like eating their faces when they found him. Shit's fucked, dude.
Oh, what?
Yeah, that was a real fucking thing that happened here in Florida.
Recently?
It was like a few years ago, but the kid was like 18 or 19 years old, and he basically like, I don't remember too much about the story because like I only like half watch the news when we do it, but because if I pay attention to it, I'm gonna make myself even more depressed. But he basically just like he killed his mom and dad. He had like some argument, and he killed both his mom and his dad. And then he like threw a huge party and had all his friends come over. And he like said like he like let slip to one of his friends that he had like his parents were dead upstairs in one of the rooms or something. And so they called the cops because that's what any sane person would do if somebody was making claims like that. And the cops show up and they find him like in the garage, like eating their fucking faces of his dead parents. Just fucking.
I'm so confused. So
Yeah.
this dude kills his parents,
Throws
tells
a
some
party.
friends, just randomly like lets it slip at a party he's throwing in the house where their
Where
corpses
their
are
bodies
currently
are
rotting,
there. Yeah.
and then just decides, this party's not for me right now. I'm hungry for mom and dad's faces.
It's just
Yeah,
I mean,
that's,
at
I
the
think
exact
that's
when you have the
story.
munchies, a nice face is all you can have, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I guess fucking get a little cheek in your diet. Just
Mm-hmm.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
As they say, the nose knows.
Oh, can't kill him.
As they say, some people just deserve to have the brakes beat off of them.
My husband's
I
lying
mean-
on the ground and you've come
I
back
mean,
here. Archie,
Just knock their fucking brains right out the back of their head and make them smarter.
Dunk.
I mean, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's one of the craziest ones that I've ever heard. And the kid was only like, I don't remember how old he was when this happened, but he's like not older than 25 at this point. Like he was like, I think he was like 18 or 19 or something like that when this actually happened.
you ever wonder about eternity?
Wow.
It's like, yeah, it's just fucking wild. It's so weird to me because it's like, I mean, I've had disagreements with my parents and stuff before, but I just can't ever imagine like being in a situation where you get so worked up and like upset about anything to where the point where you're just like, well, the only logical course of action that I have here is to kill somebody. Like, I don't understand how people's brains get to that point, but
I mean, I have. I definitely know how you get there.
yeah, I guess maybe I've never been in a situation where I've like gotten that upset or angry about anything. I mean, I totally understand that it happens, but like,
I sat at the top of the stairs with a baseball bat guarding my fucking brother and sister's room, just like waiting on a motherfucker to do something. I'm like, tonight's the night. I'm gonna go to
With the
jail.
motherfucker
He's going
wood.
in the fucking ground.
yeah. Damn.
And it never really progressed quite to that level. Like, I needed to go real crazy because I knew ultimately it'd be all right, but I knew in the situation, unless it was extreme, then you know, it's one of those things. Like, even as like a teenager, I was just like, well, I'm really only gonna get one shot, because if I go to I'm gonna go to jail immediately. But then it's not going to go well in court if they're like, well, you neutralized the situation and then proceeded to continue beating him for the next 30 minutes until the police arrived.
Right.
So I got to get like it's got to be the perfect situation. It's got to be justified, and I got to
It's
get
completely
a hell of a
justified.
fucking first swing in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, if you miss that first swing, you're gonna have some issues.
well, no, not even just, I wasn't worried about missing. I was just worried about not doing enough damage right off the bat, because you can't go back for a second one.
That's true.
So I'm like, nope, we need total incapacitation, and it needs to be absolutely justified. So there's plenty of times, man, I just sat there and waited, pissed the fuck off, just waiting.
Damn.
Fucking hit my mom one time, see what happens.
Well, on that note,
What a wholesome way to end the episode.
we're
Hell
gonna
yeah. Shit is
We're go-
not okay, children.
we're
Yeah,
It is all fucked. We're all gonna die.
If you ever witnessed any form of domestic abuse, please tell somebody.
also try
Fucking don't
freshen
tell
up.
me. I'll kill a motherfucker. I'm not playing. I'm just kidding. I've calmed down a lot. I'm just joking.
I let the domestic violence slide now. I've calmed down.
Yeah,
a
I'm
lot.
cool with it now. I've made my peace with it. You know, sometimes it's like I tell my wife, I stop fucking around. You know, it hurts me more than it hurts you when I have to beat the hell out of you. I just,
Come home from a bad day at work, just relax with a nice casual wife beating. It's all good.
right. And I will not freebase cocaine. You know?
That is where I draw the line.
I mean, I'll do a little toot if it's my birthday or something, but you know.
Well, stew on
always-
that for until next week in our next
Oh,
episode.
fuck you, bro.
That's your first fucking pun. Good
That's
job.
the only one tonight.
Good job. And I almost didn't catch it.
I caught it right away and it pissed me off.
Hmm
Instantly
Yep.
angry.
All right, I'm gonna go kill myself now. I'll talk to y'all later.
All right.
Okay, well, you bye.
Oh, see you guys next time.
Maybe. Oh, and you paused the stream,
Trying to end the stream.
bro. It's gonna be like the worst episode y'all ever had.